In the last video, I said I was totally forgetting something, and I know what it is now. In the click to continue over here, when we do our set text in our dialog context, we are moving ourselves from the parent and adding the menu widget to the viewport like we used to do. We need to fix this, so let's get rid of this stuff. And instead we're going to tell our menu to update button visibility and show menu widget 0, because that's going to be for our just regular menu if we're not in game. So if we compile, save, and play, start, and we just go to the end, break it, we go back to our main menu with the right options. Great. Also, our onPlayer name input committed is not connected to anything right now, so I'm just going to assume that our player does not have a actual character. And it's going to be our game instance. So in our game instance, I'm going to add a new variable for a name. This is going to be player name, and then back in our dialog, I'm going to get game instance, cast to vn game instance, convert to appear cast, set player name, and connect all this stuff up. And for the player name, it's going to be our text to string to name, because we would not be able to directly connect our text to our name, nor could we say to name. We have to convert it to a string first. So now that that's out of the way, let's actually work on we have an error. What is this? Oh, it's because I didn't compile on my game instance. Great. So now that that is out of the way, let us work on our auto and skip mode. So we're going to need a few variables for them. 3 variables each. We need 2 booleans. First one is it active? So skip mode active. We need another one for cancel skip on options. And we need another one for skip speed, and this is going to be a float. And then we need those other variables again for our auto mode active, boolean, cancel auto on options, and auto speed. Let's make these a float, and I'm going to put these in its own category because it's taking up a lot of space. Under the categories, I'm going to type in skip and auto mode, and I'm going to put these inside of that category. So skip and auto mode, skip and auto mode. Normally this would be something I do off recording, but it's really taking up a ton of space and I really don't want it to. Great. And obviously in our options we would make our options for these, but I'm going to do that off recording. So let's just move on straight to doing this stuff. Now we want to do this stuff after we finish typing, basically. Or actually for the skip mode we want to do it in the instant type speed. Okay, so over here in the instant type speed, we're also going to say if our text speed is nearly equal to 0, or skip mode is active, then we're going to instantly type it out. And then after we finish typing stuff out, we're going to do stuff based on if skip and auto mode are active. So let's get rid of this comment, because we're going to be modifying this quite a bit in our show options. And this is not a very appropriately named function anymore, so let's rename this to, say, on text finish typing. Yeah, that works for me. Where are we going to do this stuff? Well, it's not going to be before we ask for player name, because if we are asking for a player name, we don't care if we're skipping or doing auto mode. And it won't be if we have any options, because if there are any options, then we don't want to skip or do auto, obviously. So it's going to be off this false pin right here. So let's move these over quite a bit. And on this true, this is going to be the easiest part, so we're going to do it now. We're going to ask if we're canceling skip mode on options, and if skip mode is active, then we're going to set skip mode to false. Actually, I suppose we don't really need this and. We could just say if it's skip on options, or cancel skip on options, then it doesn't matter if skip mode is active or not, we're going to set it to false. So screw this and we'll just do this. We also need to do the same thing for our auto mode, so cancel auto on options, branch, and set auto mode active to be false. Make sure both of your true and false pins connect to the next thing. So this would connect to our for loop, and so would the false connect to our for loop. Otherwise, we're not going to be showing our options. Like so. Alright. And then after we have, on the false pin, when there are no options, we're going to do some stuff. So if skip mode is active, we're going to branch. And I'm actually going to save that for later because I'd rather work on my auto options right now. So this true is if skip mode is active, but the false is going to be a branch if our auto mode is active. And for our auto mode is active, we're going to do a delay, because we want to wait a little bit and then choose option 0. So the delay is not going to be our auto speed. Actually, it's going to be well, we are going to use our auto speed, but it's going to be based on if our skip mode is active, or sorry, this actually won't get called if our skip mode is active, so we don't have to check that. But if our text speed is nearly 0, meaning it's an instant type speed, then we can't just use our auto speed, because our auto speed is a relatively small number, and if you have a huge block of text popping up, you don't want to just wait a tiny amount and then move on. You want to wait based on how big that text block is. So let's get our what was it, text speed nearly equal to 0, plug that into our index. So if the text speed is not nearly equal to 0, then we're just going to use our auto speed, which I'm going to do something like 0.5, 0.25, 0.5, whatever. That's going to be set by your player anyways in the options. But otherwise, we are going to get our, let's say, a target text, get its length, so how many characters is in it. Actually, that's not going to work because we have our tags inside of here. So instead, we're going to get our, and the tags would add more characters to our target text. So instead, we're going to get our context. Where is this? Get dialog context. Get active node text. Do we have a length function in here? Num? Nope. Alright, toString. That's so inconvenient, but whatever. And length. And we're going to divide this by a certain amount, so how long we wait per character, basically. So let's do a, actually just do multiply by float, and let's do something like 0.005. Then we're just going to add our auto speed to that. Plugging into our true right there. Let's test to see if our auto works. Obviously, we would want a much bigger chunk of text to test this out. But luckily, I've already prepared that. I'm just going to plug let's disconnect this, move it down, and plug our start into this long block of text instead. Oh, also of course we need to do our auto mode needs to on the complete. Once again, we will branch on our auto mode active in case our auto mode was cancelled while we were waiting. And if the auto mode is still active, we're going to choose option 0. And there's no need to check to see if we have any options because we've already done that up here. Back in our auto button right there, unclicked, we're going to get our auto mode active and do not boolean and set our auto to be that. So set auto mode active to be this. So we're saying make your auto mode active to be whatever it is not right now. And let's test this out. So if we compile, save, and play, we start, and we hit auto mode, and we go to the next line, and we wait, it's now automatically playing. Great. You'll notice that we had to actually... Okay, and when the options pop up, it stops... What's the word? Typing. It stops choosing option 0 until we click an option, and then it keeps going because we did not set the cancel auto mode on options to be true. So if we set this to be true, compile, save, and play, start, and choose auto, and move on. Wait for us to go back to our options. There we go. And now the auto mode is false. If we were to set our options text speed to be 100%, and we hit start, auto, and move on, you'll notice that it waits slightly longer for depending on how long our text is. It's actually kind of not that noticeable because all of our text is relatively the same size, but trust me, it is. It's kind of fast though, in my opinion, so let's make this 0.01 instead. Let's try that out. Play, start, auto. Okay, that feels better. You also notice that we have to actually click to go to the next line when we set our auto mode to be active. So let's fix this. In the set auto mode to active, we're going to branch. So if this is now true, we are going to, well, basically we're going to do all that stuff up there. Auto mode active. I don't just want to connect this though. Let's just copy this for now. Copy and paste. We're not going to connect to this branch because we already know it's auto mode. However, we are going to check to see if our text has finished typing. So if this is true, if this is now true and our text has finished typing, so get current text is equal to our target text, like that. We will connect our true to our delay, and it should do it for us automatically. Actually, in this case, we don't want to wait if our current text has finished typing, because we're assuming that it already. Oh, what's the word? We don't want to wait anymore. We don't want to wait for our auto speed anymore. So actually, we don't need this. Sorry about that. I didn't really have this well planned out beforehand. we can just choose option 0 actually. Compile, save, and let's hit play again. Start. This is finished typing, so if we just hit auto, now it goes on. The same thing happens if we were to set our text speed to be options text speed slightly lower. Start. It finished typing, so we hit auto, and it moves on. Great. Let's do skip mode. This is kind of a little bit of a pain, but it's not that bad, really. Let's move this stuff down, down slightly. There we go. And obviously we don't want to do our auto mode stuff if we're doing skip mode, because that would just add to a bunch of delays and choosing option 0 automatically, and that would be kind of a pain. So for our skip mode, we are going to say, I can't remember. Hold on, let me do my get dialog context. I believe we can do something like get option. We're going to get option 0. And we can break this structure over here. Return value text. Target index, right there. We want our return value target index. That's going to be where our choosing option. So for example, if we're on this node, we're going to get our option 0, and the return target index for option 0 over here is going to be 2. So it's not going to return our current node index, it's going to return our next index. And this is why we couldn't use the it's not popping up. Over here, convert to speech sequence. That's why we couldn't use the speech sequence, because they would all return 1. So break these, sorry, don't break the links. This is wildly inconsistent. Convert to speech nodes. Here we go. Oh boy. Where'd they go? This is going on to here like that. Sorry about that. So let's do that. We're going to say return target value index. This is going to be this one. And we're going to get our dialog. What is it? Does dialog active? Wait, is edge connected to visited nodes? Sorry, that's the one we want. This is for something else. When we I'm doing things horribly right now, but Visual Studio, please don't pop up. I did not mean to double click you. Anyways, the is edge connected to visited node. That's the one we actually want. Obviously, we want index 0. Local history. We don't want this to be true because we want this to be a global check. If we've ever visited the next visited node, this is going to be the local history, and the skip unsatisfied edges. We're going to need our show unselectable options right there. Index skips unsatisfied edges. Show true. So we want, I believe this would be the not Boolean in here. I'm not too sure though. The wording's kind of strange. Or I'm just not thinking very clearly right now. Anyways, so we're going to do a branch on this. And if we are connected to a visited node, then we're going to, here, I want this to just go away right now. If we are connected to a visited node, we're going to do a delay. Because we don't want to just automatically go to the next node over and over, because then it wouldn't show our art progressing, or our text sort of doing that rapid thing where it just rapidly types out our text over and over. Anyways, in the delay, we're going to wait for our skip speed. And before I forget, let me make this something like 0.005. Actually, let's go. I believe 005 was what we used for our auto mode, which was relatively slowish. I'm going to do 001. And once again, we need to check to see if we're actually still skipping, because it's possible we canceled our skip mode while we were waiting. And if we are still skipping, then we're just going to choose 0. Choose option 0. Also, if our next line hasn't been visited yet, then we want to set our skip mode to be false. So skip mode active, set to be false, right there. Compile, save, and then on our skip button, here we go. Jeez, why is this popping up all the way over here? Oh, it's because this is over here. So on our skip button, we're going to basically do the same thing as this. We're going to say skip mode active. We're going to get the not boolean, and set skip mode to be that. So we're toggling our skip mode. And we're saying, okay, so if we are now skipping, we don't care about the if our current text is equal to our target text or not. We just want to move on. If we have visited the current node or next node, so copy this, paste that here, do an and, and then we would choose option 0. Or okay, so we would want to choose option 0 if we only have 0 options. I forgot to do that in our auto mode, but let's do that. Where we get our option number is show options. Are there any options? Here it is. Copy this. So we need to add a pin to our and over here. And a pin to our and over here. And then at that point we can choose option 0. Let's see if this works. Compile, save, press play, start, and do skip. Okay, nothing happened. Skip mode is true. And we have visited the next node, and we have no options, then we should have chosen option 0. What's going on there? Let's debug our dialog, start, and do skip. So this is running. This is returning false. Skip mode is active, it's true. We have visited it, but we are returning false because, we want this to see if this is equal to 0 instead of equals 0, instead of choosing if it's greater than 1. Now it should work. Start, skip, and now we skip. Wow, we skipped a lot. And because we moved on to a node that we haven't visited yet, it says it just stops the skip mode. So if we were to play and start and do auto mode first, auto did not work. That was very strange. Let's debug this, start, and auto. This is returning false, this is true, and somehow this is false. If our option num is equal to 0, why are you returning false? That is very strange. We don't have any options, right? That's super weird. The skip mode was just working. If our options num is equal to 0. Sorry, equal to 1. Because there's always going to be at least one option, unless we're at an end node. I'm not sure why the skip mode was working earlier, but there's the skip mode, alright. And then if we do start and auto mode, now our auto works, great. And we hit skip mode, we choose an option, and our auto should still be active, which it is not. Actually, our auto should still be active. Auto, back, and then skip. Lots of text, and let's debug this. What's going on here? Auto mode active is false. Oh, because I set the cancel on okay. Cancel auto on options, so makes this false. Play, start, auto, skip. And that ended up wrong. It automatically chose option 0 for some reason. Why did that happen? It's because skip mode, skip true, false, auto mode active over here. Let's just add a breakpoint to say, oh, where should we put it? So when we start, we say wait for it. Screw it, we'll just do another check. Copy over here. We'll just do an add node in these branches. It's the easiest way I can think of to fix this. That should hopefully fix it right now without having to make you watch me debug this. So and skip mode, and we only have one option. Like so. Start auto and skip. Great, now it stops at the option. We choose the one with auto text. Our auto should still be going, but it isn't going. Auto mode active is true. So what's going on here? We chose option 0. It did all this stuff. Oh, that's because oh, this is gonna be kind of a pain. I believe the reason is because we do our skip mode. It skips right over here, so it does the instant type speed, and then it does the on text finish typing. It does all this stuff. On the false, it asks if skip mode is active, but the skip mode at this time is still active, I believe. Or actually, no, it's false. When did it get set to false? On false. Oh boy, this is turning out to be a bit of a mess, isn't it? Skip mode is active, so it chooses this option. Skip mode, cancel on, we no longer have a... When did this get set to false? I honestly have no idea. Well, whatever. Anyway, I'm just gonna let this play out because it's gonna be saying some stuff I meant to say, and I'll figure out why it stopped doing the auto later and why its skip mode set to false, which, you know, it should, but I don't remember where I did that. And I'm gonna talk about something else, mainly if your opinions on the video so far, not as in like if you think it's good or bad, but how I'm doing it. And why are these texts empty? The heck? What's going on there? Oh, because we never checked for the end node, I think. Yeah, these are probably the end node. Okay, so instead of choosing option 0, we also want to say if we're on an end node. So dialog context, get the active node, active, actually let's just on the choose option, we need to branch after we choose our childs based on our options, or either one of these actually. Let us branch, and if it's false, we're gonna do this stuff over there. I'll probably clean it up so that these are actually like one bigger thing instead of doing choose shout over here. I'll probably make this choose option, but whatever. And if it's true, then we will update the text. Also, we probably want to set the skip and auto mode to be false. So auto mode active, set to be false, and skip mode active, set to be false. Like that. It's a little messy, but it should work. Play again, start and skip. We end up at the end. Great. And it stops the game. So instead of just ending at a end node, let's connect this to one more node just to prove that the auto works. So press start, skip, still skipping, and then we hit auto and we keep moving on. Okay, what I was saying earlier about our videos being the way they are, like, is it fine with you guys the way I'm doing this? Like, as in, I'm typing out the code in front of you and just sort of explaining things as we go along and doing things wrong and then doing things the right way to show why we doing things the right way? Or would you rather if I just let me have something on screen just to make this more interesting? Or would you rather I sort of finish the work ahead of time and then start the tutorial or start recording and just explain what we've did throughout the video, throughout the coding process? I personally hate it when people do that because I feel like it's easier to understand what's going on if you just type it out in front of them and sort of debug it in front of them or your viewer, because then they see what's wrong and they see why you would want to do stuff, and it makes it easier to understand in my opinion. But, you know, maybe you guys think this is horrible because I'm making a ton of mistakes and it's not sort of pleasant to watch. I don't know. What are your opinions on this? Because honestly, I could go either way when it comes to making a video. It would certainly be easier for me because then I could just finish making the stuff and without any errors. So I don't have to constantly make new videos saying, hey, this is how to fix what went wrong in the last video constantly. But like I said, I personally hate those kind of videos because I just don't like them. I don't think they're great for teaching people how to do stuff. But what are your opinions? Let me know. Also, again, you might have seen earlier in the dialogue, but if you have any opinions on what sort of minigame you want to see me make for the visual novel tutorial, let me know. I actually do know how to do stuff. I just, for some reason, when I start recording, everything goes horribly wrong because I sort of rushed through it trying to do it right the first time, and it doesn't go right the first time, so I have to do it a couple more times. But if you want to do something like, I don't know, a match 3 or Tetris or anything like that. Here, this is super slow. Options. Why is this so slow? This text speed should be faster than that, honestly. What's going on with my text speed, actually? I just noticed that. But anyways, if you want to do something like Tetris or a match 3 game or anything like that, it's actually really simple and I could totally do it. I'm not sure what's going on with my text speed, but whatever. Yeah, just let me know. And I'm not recording? Oh, I am recording. It's just OBS isn't showing up here. Thank God. Wow, I was about to start freaking out. I'll see you in the next video.